Happy New Year, everyone. Wishing you love, peace, happiness, and all the good stuff. Last year, I purchased my first property, my home, here in Staten Island, and I love it. It's peaceful, it's quiet. Um, so I thought, I have one neighbor that has been giving me a really hard time. When I first moved here, I was outside cleaning up and I saw her. I said, "Hi, how you doing? My name is Elise. I'm your new neighbor." Just a quick intro. And I said, "You have a good day." And I went over, I told her I was going to just mention to my neighbor on the opposite side of me that, the trees are into my driveway a little bit. So I wanted to trim them. She said, "First of all, if you're the owner, you don't need to ask anyone a effing thing." And when she said that, I just said, "You have a good day." And time went on. I didn't have a car at that time, and it took me 2 hours to get to my job and 2 hours to come home. But I was still happy. Um, so when I would come home, I would notice like trash in my yard, and but it's clean. Everywhere else is clean. And then I will notice like when I came home one time, the shingle, which is the siding, was ripped out. Um, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it took me a while. I had a ring only, the ring doorbell at the time. And then when I checked, I seen like the neighbor's son coming out of my driveway. And time went on, and I just seen a lot of things started happening. Like a lot of I got cameras put up everywhere, because there were consistent trash in my yard, and I will see the neighbors on camera throwing trash in my yard. One day, my daughter and we cleaned up the backyard because it's a lot, to clean. And 3 hours plus we cleaned. And when we put the garbage out, because the garbage go out twice a week. So we put it out Sunday so that they pick up is on Monday. So we put it out, and on the ring, we noticed the kids ran through the garbage and scattered their kids, the neighbors' kids ran through the garbage and scattered it everywhere. And so I came outside. I told the father. The father said, "No, not my kids." So the mom came out and she was like, "What's the matter?" So I explained to her, and she said, "Oh, I don't have my kids running in people's yard." But they cleaned it up. Then she said they deflect. She said, "Oh, by the way, your camera looks like it's looking at us." I told her, "Well, my camera is not looking at you. It's for safety. And she said, "Well, if you can you move it because it looked like it's looking at us." So I left it at that. The person that put it up was away, so I was gonna ask them to see if they could fix it or adjust it just to be for peace, because now as time went on, more things started happening. Um, you know, this woman next door, I came outside after shoveling the snow, and she yelled. She started yelling, "What are you doing outside?" She was with her husband and her son, her 24-year-old son. I found out he was 24 because they were mentioning it. And like, I can't be outside. So I said, "Who are you talking to? And who are you?" And she said, "Well, my name is Allison." And she started yelling. And I said, "Well, I said I could say what I want. Who are you?" And from then on, it was a lot of trash, a lot of things happening. So I went to the precinct, to find out what's going on. Turns out that this woman had gone to the precinct. I just moved in. I purchased in September of 2020, and I didn't fully move in until the ending of the ending of October. So yeah, then I started putting cameras everywhere. I started putting cameras up because I don't know what's happening. So by the time I got to the cops, the police stated that she already reported me. So I said, "For what? I did nothing to her. I never spoke to her, you know?" And I did nothing to this woman. She reported me to the precinct saying that I've been harassing her. I wanted to go in her pool. And mind you, that was October. It's already cold. It's freezing cold, snowing, and everything is happening. I want to go to her pool. And I'm a registered nurse. I'm a nurse working during COVID. Okay? This is trying times. People are dying. We don't have time for this. I don't have time. I work long hours, and I have to work with my children. I take good care of my children. Okay? And this woman is reporting all these things to the precinct, false reports. I asked, now when I came down to make my report, they saying that it will look like retaliatory complaint. So nobody came to me. No detective came to me. They gave me the detective number to call. I called the detective. They stated that, "Oh, we have a warrant for your because a warrant for me." So I said, "Excuse me, repeat yourself, because I have done nothing in my entire life. I don't do anything. So for me to be a warrant." So he retracted his statement, and he stated that this is so frustrating. So he retracted his statement, and he stated that well, she stated that what I just said, that I'm harassing her, which is a lie. This woman have done so much things. She blocked my driveway. She sent people to sit on my steps to try to threaten me, saying I bet she won't come outside. This has been consistent. This is over a year. So for me to come and talk about this, to see these type of things that are happening, and I can't believe I'm a single parent with my 3 girls, and I work sometimes 21 hours sometimes, okay? And I also do other things to take care of my children. So this woman and it's like a lot of them there. She has foster children, and she sends them to do things like, I didn't have the tools when I first purchased, so I used the plywood to shovel the snow, and it did the job, so whatever. And after I clean, she will have her kids take the snow, shovel the snow, and throw it back over the fence into my yard. Okay, her husband asked her at the time, like, "Why are you doing this to this woman?" She got up in his face and made him sit in the passenger seat. Okay, and after he sat in the passenger seat, he started doing everything, I guess to please her. They blowing the leaf, and this man had worked for sanitation with trash, so he's blowing trash into my yard. Okay, they do so many spit into my yard. The sun, I had on a body cam at one point. I had to wear a body cam because I said these people are liars. What else can they do? So the son is laughing, making fun, saying, "Oh, she got to wear a body cam." It's just so many things that I did. I followed protocol and I did everything step by step. I went to the precinct, several complaints, so many. It's over 12 complaints. Okay, it's a lot of complaints, and even criminal trespassing. So many trespassing. She has a fence. There's a fence in between her and I. She opens the gate and she will stand there and send her foster kids to go over just to make mischief, create mischief, and come into my yard and go into my backyard. She's to have even the young kids at late at night going into my yard from this side gate that she has on her fence. And her herself came over and, like criminal trespass, and she messed with my downspout, the drain, and maneuver it. So when I report these things, it's like my voice is not being heard. I showed them the video, and I was told, well, we have to be there in order to make an arrest. So I said, okay, so you have to be there. If there's a bank robbery and the robbers, you have the surveillance with the robbers, so why do they get arrested? Okay, you weren't there to catch them most of the time, so why do they get arrested? So it's just a lot of bias here in Staten Island that I see, from this, and I'm not being helped. This woman continues to report lies about me. She even called ACS on me, saying when the worker came, she stated that she said that I talk to myself and I don't take care of my children. Okay, so I'm a working mother, okay, with 3 children, and I tend faithfully. I'm even on the SLT team. I was on the SLT team, the PTA at that time, and I did what I have to do for my children, and I still make things happen and let them enjoy themselves. So I just need help. If anyone has any information or anything I could do to help myself here in Staten Island. And, the reason I picked here, this part of New York, this block is only, Bond Street it's only 2 blocks and it's quiet. You could hear a pin drop and there is nobody else making any trouble but this woman. Okay. She seen me and I'm working out, I just went through a lot, that's why I moved, and I have to, take care of my children. I went through a divorce, and it's hard, and I'm very happy, but this right here, it's a lot to take on. You go to work, and throughout the whole COVID, okay, so I worked, come home to my children. When you come in here, the social worker, when she came, she said, "It's so much peace in here." And I said, "I know," because I'm a peaceful person. And they had to throw the case out because it's a fabrication. She lies, and everything. You could hear her. She's very loud and boisterous, and you could hear her saying, She's following me and telling people on her phone that I'm following her. I don't even have to see this woman. When I come out my door, I veer right to my driveway and go about my business. This woman has a driveway. She parks in front of my house time after time, okay? Just to see my face. When I come outside, she'll wait. She used to wait in the dark. Before they purchased the house across the street, she used to wait in the dark until I come home to videotape me. When I'm outside with my daughter, she's videotaping me and lying on the phone and saying, somebody need to come, and she needs to take her meds. And I'm like, what? And then when I first got here, I noticed her daughter, me and my sister went out, her daughter, the camera went off. So I looked at the camera, my phone, and it stated that it showed her daughter putting her middle finger up behind me. So I opened the door and I said, is that necessary? That's the beginning. When I just moved, I said, is that necessary? That was in October. I just moved here. Okay. And I said, is that necessary? She stated, oh, that's my problem child, miss. Miss, so what do you do? I'm a teacher. What do you do? And I said, you have a good night. Okay. And I hear her time and time again, just mouthing off like, what did I do? I can't afford this house because it's me and my children. And, just to aggravate you and to try to agitate you. And the cops say they can't do anything until someone has to get arrested. Okay. I went to the DA's office. I did all the legwork. Okay. And this woman she took her cars, and she drive her truck up on the sidewalk and broke off the pipes that's connected to my house. I have the tapes, and she did so many stuff, and she won't stop. They did new pavement on the road. It was so beautiful. She did her home over. She put a truck there, and she made sure she messed all the time in front of my house. She make a big mess. She sent her children to make a big mess. Her son, they do the same thing. All of them park and block my driveway all time and time again. It's so many calls I have to make, and it's so tiring, and I just pray that I prayed for it to stop. I continuously like, God, what's happening? This woman won't stop. She would just stand outside and stare at me. She put her Ring camera on her shed in order to steer into my yard and stare at my back door. Every time I come out, she stare at my back door. I purchased the Blink cameras as well. So she bought Blink cameras. She put them onto her side of her house so that she could steer into my porch. She could steer inside of my enclosed porch, and just to watch me every time I come outside. Then she comes right outside and make phone calls saying, oh, she's following me, and my tape show her coming out, doing that, all these things that I'm telling you, and she won't stop. She came up, she's telling people on the phone, I have people to fight her. She better bring an army. I have people that fight both men and women. And I'm like, fight me. I do nothing but come outside, go about my business. I'm never home most of the time. My children, when they were home, they send people. Okay, she sent her guests on New Year's Day twice to urinate in my yard. One in the morning, okay, and a guy with blonde dreads. Then the other time that was New Year's Day. Then in June, I told the guy to please get out my driveway. I caught him, and I have to make motions, and yell for him to get out my driveway. You know, my children don't need to see your genitals on the camera. You need to go. So in June, I saw him, that same guy, when I was coming from work, talking to the son at the park. So it's like I don't know what's happening. You know, it's a lot to deal with as a registered nurse. You work so hard to take care of people, and as a mom, you know, and you work hard. And she's looking at me. She called me names. I was in the back working out, and I heard her. She started yelling and yelling, "Nurse Noose, Nurse Noose," you know, and she has. And I tried to get her on camera, but I'm working out. I'm minding my business, you know. And this is what this woman does all the time, and I'm so over it, you know. This brings so much tears to me because I've been working so hard from young. I have nothing, you know. I'm just a human being trying to do my best, you know. And every time you try to do your best, here comes this one, you know, just harassing me consistently, and I don't know what else to do. So I hope to get some help. You know, I don't know, the son coming to my cameras, towards my cameras, putting his finger up like he's and making motions and gunshot signs. So going bup, he's gonna shoot me. And you know, standing in front of, they used to stand in front of my door, and one day they did that. They stood in front of my door with the dog. So my dog, before I started cleaning up the back, and I'll share pictures, you know. It was a lot, and it's myself and my daughter that did it, with working so hard, you know. And no complaints, because it's sacrifices that I have to do in order to get where I need to get in life, you know. And so I do it, and I try to work out, and it's a lot of things that's happened. I'm just overly frustrated, guys. I'm just going through a lot of things, and I'm happy that I'm healthy. And you know, I used to work out a lot. Every day I come home, I will work out, and they will, you know, I used to work out every day a lot, and they used to yell out the window, "She's so extra," you know. And I'm like, extra? But I ain't pay that no mind, because I have to do what I have to do, you know. And they just keep on. I just need some help. And the daughter, she comes and she blocks my driveway, starts yelling the N word. I asked them to move because I'm about to come out, and she starts yelling the N word. And you know, they have their own driveway, you know. And if you see I'm gonna share the tape, that they block my driveway, and they have so much space behind them. They do it purposely, and drive up onto the sidewalk, and no, just menacing, you know. And this is not, this woman. She give the orders, they follow, you know. And you hear her, and she's come out laughing and just terrorizing. And I just need some help to for this to stop. I'm fear for my safety of my children and myself, because you know, they consistently do the same thing. And yeah, I have cameras up, but obviously cameras doesn't matter, because authorities, people that you think are in authorities, aren't doing anything. And I tried to speak to the precinct commander. I was told how many times he's busy, and I couldn't get to speak to him. And, you know, I guess because she went and told her lies. She didn't, just lies. And they didn't believe her because they told, I spoke to another cops, and I don't know what's happening. Every time I go up there, I have complaint numbers, I file complaints, and nothing is being done. Okay? Neighbors harassing me for no reason. Okay?